Hello, my name is Ashley and welcome to my channel. I don't know what I make yet. I'm still trying to find my YouTube voice, and fashion is something that really interests me. So I thought I'd be very true to who I actually am and interweave parts of try-on clips with a documentary style voiceover. A quick background is growing up, I would always watch these try-on hauls, but then on the news or elsewhere, I would read about how fast fashion is bad, consumerism is bad, and so I kind of wanted to meld the two. So I did some research into some of the brands and some of the numbers, statistics, anecdotes surrounding some very famous fashion stories. The point is to make us a little more conscious of what we buy, why we buy it, and what kind of machine and marketing is behind the name of fashion. So the first store is Abercrombie. When I had COVID, I watched all of these documentaries. I watched the Elizabeth Holmes one about Theranos. I watched an HBO documentary about evangelical culture in the South. I watched a documentary on YouTube about Park Avenue. But one of the ones that was kind of poorly done but very interesting was about Abercrombie & Fitch. Growing up and being more aware of consumerism is realizing that Abercrombie sold clothing, but all of the advertisements were naked men, no clothing in sight. The documentary quoted the owner and CEO of Abercrombie, Mike Jeffries, saying that the entire point of Abercrombie itself was to promote Americanness, and this actually led to a lawsuit because of how the hiring process was seen as racially discriminatory. So a fun fact about Abercrombie that really led me on a huge train of thought was that gay men actually played a large role in creating this quote-unquote American masculine image. That men could control the image of men and women or vice versa made me think a lot about the world of fashion, i.e. are we the ones who promote what beauty to us looks like, or is it the male gaze or something else? The fact that advertisements sell unattainable visions and abstract ideals rather than products, this leads back to the sort of trending topic right now. Is it a fit? Or are they just skinny? Or is it a fit? Or are they just an influencer? Because you think a lot about Abercrombie back then, and all they sold was shirts that just said Abercrombie established whenever. The irony, and that's the whole point of this, is that I did recently shop at Abercrombie. I got 2 jackets that I really love. They were on like half off to even more than half off, like 3/4 off. And yeah, so they make really good quality jackets. They make really good quality jeans. I still shop there, but I think that little bit of context that you might be aware of, you know, if you weren't, I think that's really interesting. Well, my next place that I shopped was Levi's. And I bought these during Amazon Prime Day, and I wanted to give some fun facts about Amazon. Warning, none of them are fun and they're all pretty dismal. So according to this article that I will put on the screen for you, Jeff Bezos makes $2,537 per second, which is a little over $9 million an hour. So for the minimum wage worker in the US from my home state of California at $15 an hour, it takes them 169 hours, roughly 170 hours to make what Jeff Bezos makes in 1 second. And according to CBS, when we go abroad, fast fashion So on the lower end, it takes them 947 hours to make what Jeff Bezos makes in a single second. For Levi's as a brand, I did a little bit of quick searching because I realized that I really only buy or come across Levi's in other retail stores such as Nordstrom, Urban Outfitters, Amazon, etc. And so this led me to search how much Amazon takes from its sellers. because lately they've promoted that they support small businesses, etc. That's their whole new campaign. So this led me to search how much Amazon takes from people who sell through them as sort of the middleman. And their referral fee is 15% of the total sale price. They also charge 5% for fuel, inflation, and other related fees. And then they also charge you per unit that they store in their facilities. They also have refund administration fees, closing fees, lithium battery fees, high volume listing fees, FBA inventory fees, and FBA prep service fees. So Amazon itself is very cryptic about these fees. And according to CNBC, Amazon surpassed $11.9 billion in transactions during 2022 Amazon Prime Day. And the average order among, I don't remember if this is households or Prime members, but it was $52.76. Once thriving rivers in China, India, Bangladesh, wrecked by wastewater, effluent from factories have transformed into biologically dead zones replete with cancer-causing chemicals. I think that it's no surprise. I think that brands do a really good job of separating the consumer from the labor involved in the product. For instance, it's overseas, so it's not something that we can immediately see. Nowhere in their brand or their advertising do they state these types of things. Even places like H&M, which are known for being fast fashion, have their sustainable line, etc. And so I think that it is a conscious choice that brands make to separate us from the real dangers of what we see as just innocent ways of trying to spend our money. And so the thing that I will say about this, and I personally joined an eco-friendly club my first year at college, and it's very stark, the difference between being sustainable and being unsustainable, and the ways these two are marketed and juxtaposed against each other, and how even being sustainable is seen as consumeristic. They said the most eco-friendly thing to do is just not buy anything. And so the whole point of this video is to show that I'm guilty of these quote-unquote fashion crimes, and I'm trying to learn how to educate myself better. But at the same time, I also acknowledge that I am a college student, and a lot of times people are so ready to flame people like Best Dress for doing their Amazon fashion workplace haul. But if that's how you shop, that is how you shop. Just be mindful of these statistics and politics and etc. before you shop. And so while sustainability has been glamorized, the truth is that optimal sustainability cannot be found in a retail store or at a shelf. It can't be found through consuming or buying more, as markets would have you believe, to keep the economy running, but it would be to just simply live in the absence or the continuation of pieces that you already have. And so the fact that style and fashion is associated with money, and the unattainable quality of youth is associated with beauty, it strives to make the intangible purchasable, and markets are able to convince buyers to come back time and time again. This is documentarian Ashley signing off, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it, and my room is now a mess.